Hey, welcome back. So today will be the last improv day, and I'll probably only be like half the day, I promise. No more improv talk. That's enough, right? It's a huge thing for me, and especially because that girl didn't message me back. So now I'm doing improv. What was the note? Part of me was hoping, it's stupid. Oh, focus on what the other person says. That's very important too. I mentioned yesterday something that I thought was important, but a big thing about improv is don't focus on what you're saying. Focus on what the other person's saying and build off what they're saying. So we played a game where it was the yes and game, where you create a story. You say, so the story that we made, it's like, you ask the audience, okay, give us a topic for a story. Give us a title for a story. And then the audience will say something like, the big game. And then one person starts. And they're like, Susie was getting ready for the big game. And then the next person will be like, yes. And while she was getting ready, she noticed she was missing her helmet. And then the next person is like, yes, and the helmet was the most important helmet in the whole... See, I'm bad at this. Like, you focus on what they say and be like, okay, she mentioned helmet, so let's build on, like, helmet. Like, okay, think about something that involves helmets, like... And then also part of the game was, you could say... It was either yes and or because of this. And he said, oh, because of this adds color. So you could say... because of this, she was late to the game. And then, yes. And because of this, the team was losing at halftime or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was important. Like, when you have a conversation with something, just focus on what they're saying. Don't even think about yourself. And that's not what I do. I'm like, what do I say? What's interesting? What's cool? What's funny? Hey, there was Jimmy Lightning, but he was so fast. Make your partner look good. That's what the other guy was really good at. He made you feel comfortable when you were improvising with him, and like you were in good hands. Like he could take whatever you said and turn it into something, and it would be like you said it, because he's like taking what you said. He's like, yes, what you said, and also this extra thing that's super funny, but I wouldn't have been able to think about it if it wasn't for your help. But I wrote down this thing, and I don't even really want to say it because it's kind of mean, but like, I mean, well, part of the whole thing is I do judge people still, and it's always just because, like, I'm judging myself. And I'm like, oh, people are going to judge me, so I got to judge them first in my head and be like, okay, then don't do that, because if you do that, then people are going to judge you like I just judged him. So there was one guy who was, we went to the Improv 101, and there was one guy who was, like, into it, like one of the classmates, not the teacher. And I was judging him. I'm like, ooh, we got a real Colin Mochrie over here. He's trying too hard at improv. Is there even such a thing? That's such a stupid judgment. Oh, he's trying too hard. It was the... I don't know, they both were trying kind of hard, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Because we were playing that box game, where you give someone a box, and they're like, oh, my favorite shoe, thank you. And... when he gave me the present, he was like... I think I said this already, but whatever. He was like, oh, let me get you your present. Oh, it's so heavy, I'm just gonna... And then he gave it to me, and then I was like, okay, I'll do it, it's heavy. Give me the thing, it's heavy. Ooh. But I'm like, this guy, can't he just, like, make it easy? Just be like, oh, here's your thing. Oh, it's a car. No. He's got to be goofy about it. He's got to be a real Colin Mochrie. A real Ryan Stiles about it. Look out, everybody. We got a real Wayne Brady. Let's watch the improv master. Ugh. I hate that guy. I hate that version of myself that's like judging him. I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy who can, I think, who's just like, oh, let me get you this big heavy present. Oh, it's so heavy. But I'm always so unsure of what I'm doing. I was always just like, I don't know. It's your present. Here. That's not good improv. It would be good improv if, like, I did that, and then he kind of made a joke about my uncertainty. And he was like, oh my god, it's a snake. Like, I understand why you were so uncertain to give me this, because it's a poisonous snake. There's always something you can do with, like, a terrible improver, I'm sure. Because that's what they do. They work with the audience, and then they kind of just make fun of it. And the audience is terrible at improv, so they always have to be good with dealing with people who are terrible at it. Watch this shot. Oh! But what do you want to talk about for the rest of the day? Ukraine? I don't know. Let's get some tiny notes in here. Oh, here's a fun thing you can do with your friends. So on Tuesday, I thought I had to go somewhere. I thought I had to go to Bible study, but it turns out it's next Tuesday. So I figured this, like, I texted the guy, like, hey, is the Bible study today? And he's like, no, it's Tuesday. And that was like 12 o'clock next Tuesday. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pretend the rest of the day that I still have to go. And I'm going to be sad, like, oh, I still got to go tonight. Like, I got to exercise, and then I got to go to this thing, and I can't even stay at home anymore. And then at the last second, I'm going to pretend like I just found out that I couldn't. Because there's always that moment right before I have to go where I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm thinking, oh, God, it would be so great if I could just not go and just sit here. So then I kind of pretended that happened. Like, I was sitting on the couch, and I'd be like, oh, it would be so great if I could just sit here. And then I, like, pretended to get a text or something, and I was like, oh, it's canceled. This is the best day ever. So do that with your friends if you want to have some fun on the weekends. That's how we have fun with social anxiety. Bing, bang, bong, bonk. Bing, bang, bong, bonk. So I told you the therapist would make me feel good about the giving blood thing. I talked to the therapist about it. And I was like, I felt really bad because, like, it's vanity, and people need my blood and they can't have it because of my hair, because I care about my hair. I never had to be confronted by this vanity, but now it's like hurting people. And she's like, oh yeah, like, she said the only thing she could say, which is like, for the record, you'd be fine without your hair. I'm like, yeah, I know you have to say that. But like, it's fine, like, at least you tried to go, and like, well, you couldn't give it, so you can't give it. What are you gonna do? I'm like, well, I could. She's trying to make me feel like it's not a big deal, that I'm not a bad person for. But of course it's bad. Of course it's bad. There's no way of getting around that, like, it's bad. I'm making the wrong decision by not getting rid of my medicine for my hair so that I can give it, my blood, to people. It's the wrong decision, and it's morally wrong. Or ethically. Probably, I don't know. One of those. Take your pick. I gotta get used to the timing of the boulder. It's bad. I mean, that's what I said before, is like, we just have to be okay. Let's not pretend that we're good people. We have to be okay. We're all bad people. Some of us are worse than others. For true. But if you're ever happy, you are a bad person. Like, just, you have to accept that. Because when you're happy, you're not being as empathetic. Because there are people in Ukraine dying, and you have a bed. So why are you happy? You don't care about the people in Ukraine? Kind of. I mean, I kind of don't, right? If I really, really cared, wouldn't I be doing everything I could to help them? Instead of being happy playing Peggle. And to an extent, we just have to be okay being bad people. I don't want to pretend that it's not bad to do that, because I know what's right and I know what's wrong. We all know it, but we don't want to be bad people, and just, I don't know, accept it. You're bad. You're a bad person. Sorry. If you're happy right now, at any point in the past week, you're a bad person, because there's people dying in Ukraine. That's how it works for me. You have no empathy for them. Maybe you have empathy at some points, but at other points you didn't. And at those points you were a bad person. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.